Hello, this is my latest free paper bead design, and I've made this one to be as quick and easy to cut as possible, so I haven't left any gaps in between the strips. You just need to line up the images. I'll show you that in a minute. So with this design you only have to make one cut in between each strip instead of two, and it does make cutting the strips out a lot quicker. I've printed off two to make this bracelet, but obviously the more strands you want around your wrist, the more you print out and the more beads you can make. So you can get this free design over on my website, which is www.funcraftstodoathome.com, and there will be a link right at the top of the description underneath this video. So start by cutting off the top, bottom and sides of the design. And when you cut the strips out, you've got to make sure that you line up the top strip, the edge of the image, with the bottom of the image beside it. And you do need to be really precise here. There's absolutely no room for error. You need to make absolutely certain that you get these images lined up top and bottom and cut straight down that line. And I've done this design to look like a stained glass version of the sun. I thought it would be nice to brighten up the winter days here in England because it's been quite dull for a while. Well, it looks as if it's going to be sunny today, so hopefully we've got the sun. Okay, so this is what I mean when I say you need to be precise. I wasn't watching what I was doing here and I've accidentally chopped a piece off. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. I did just shave that piece off and I was able to use the bead, but you can get away with the odd one, but you don't want all your beads to be looking like that. And obviously I had to shave off that bit of white on the edge, but so yeah, pay careful attention when you're cutting. Now that my strips are cut from both of the prints, it's time to colour the edges. So you can see this white edge along here. If I leave that white, the bead is going to look like this. Now this is a really, really badly rolled bead. I just want you to know that. That you don't want your beads to look like that. But I just wanted to show you what does happen if you don't colour the sides of your beads. Can you see here where I've coloured part of it and then you see the white? So you need to get rid of that. It might seem a bit tedious, but it doesn't actually take that long, and for anybody who doesn't want to take the time, I have got a cheat coming up. One thing you do need to remember while you are doing the edges of your strips, you need to keep the design to the left in case your pen slips, and then if your pen does slip, it's going to go on the back of the bead strip. And then of course we mustn't forget, so that we don't end up with a white core hole, we need to put these black stripes on the back of the bead strip, on the end where you start rolling, and then when your bead is done you won't see the white core hole. And if you really do find it too tedious to do each strip slowly by hand, I have got this cheat for you. If you've got a bench vise that you can clamp to a table, or you've got a bench with one clamp to it already, clamp your Sharpie marker in the vise and then just run the strip along the edge. I did show this years ago on another video. I don't know how many people actually do this. I will do it sometimes if I've got loads and loads of strips to do and I'm in a hurry. So yeah, that's a reminder, that is what it looks like if you don't colour the edge, and that is what it looks like if you do colour the edge. Well, it looks like I missed a bit there. And you may have noticed that the core hole in my beads this time is only 1mm as opposed to the 3mm that it normally is when I use the standard 3mm bead rolling tool. Some of you may recall a few videos ago I showed you how to roll beads using knitting needles, which means that you can make core holes any size you want as long as you have the correct size knitting needle. So the set that I used in that video goes from, I think this is around about 6mm needle all the way down to 1mm. Now I'm not going to go into it here. You'd only use a large core hole if you were making European style beads. So but I've covered that in another video, and there should be a link to that coming up now on the top right of your screen. You may also recall I told you in that video how you can use knitting needles to roll beads and not have the bead strip slip. I don't know how many of you saw that, how many of you will remember that, but in this video I'm just going to recap how you can actually use a tiny knitting needle to make a small core hole and do it in such a way that the paper won't slip around the needle. You can also use this same method of getting a tiny core hole using a Pokey tool. I'll show you that in a moment as well. To use this method you're going to need some removable glue tape like this. You can also use double-sided tape, which I will show you in a moment. And the key to being able to use a knitting needle or a Pokey tool as a bead rolling tool is being able to get the paper bead strip to stick to the knitting needle or the Pokey tool long enough and tight enough for you to roll that bead, while at the same time being easy to remove from the knitting needle or the Pokey tool. And the removable glue tape is absolutely perfect for this, because as you withdraw the knitting needle from the bead once you've rolled it, it pulls the glue out with it, so the glue ends up on the knitting needle. That glue that you see on the bottom of the bead strip at the moment is going to end up on the knitting needle, so the knitting needle becomes more and more sticky as you roll more and more beads. It does end up looking a bit grungy because it tends to take some of the colour from the black on there from the Sharpie, so you do end up with this black grungy glue on the end of your knitting needle or Pokey tool, but that's fine. It doesn't have any effect on how the beads look, and I know it sounds messy, but it isn't. And if you do want a really tiny core hole, this is a brilliant and inexpensive way to do that. But what happens if you're not that comfortable using a really skinny knitting needle to roll a paper bead? Well, if you have a Pokey tool, which I think most of us do, I know I have a whole load of them from when I used to do bookbinding classes, and I just use one of my Pokey tools to do exactly the same thing, and it's a lot more comfortable because you have got the handle to roll with. Let me show you what I mean. So this is a Pokey tool. Other people may know this as a piercing tool. It's something that's quite common in crafts, and you can see here how sticky the shaft of this is, and that's the glue that's been pulled out from the middle of the beads. In fact, once you've done a few beads, you don't even need to put the removable glue tape on the bead strip anymore, because there is enough sticky on the Pokey tool to stick your bead strip to. You can either put the tape on the bead strip, or you can put it directly onto the knitting needle or the Pokey tool. It's up to you. I just find it easier to put it on the paper bead strip, but you know, as I said, you can put it directly on the shaft. It will stick when you've run the tape along that shaft, but I just think it's better use of the glue tape when you put it onto the paper bead strip, at least until you get going, at least until you have enough sticky tape that is pulled through and stuck to the knitting needle or the Pokey tool. So you just have to make sure that you get the bottom of that strip stuck firmly to the shaft of the Pokey tool, and then you just roll it like you would if you were using any other bead tool, and you will find that it won't slip and you can keep control of it. It isn't as easy as using a bigger diameter, you know, say 3mm for example. It's not as easy as that, but it's definitely a very workable hack if you want a tiny core hole. And it was actually Kathy in Alabama, hi Kathy if you're watching, who she sent me some videos of making paper beads, and she prefers a much smaller core hole because she uses the stretchy elastic, you know, I think probably the you know, that transparent skinny elastic that you can get 2-string beads on. And of course, if you are using that and you have got a larger core hole in your paper beads, they are going to flap around on the thread, and so a tiny core hole is much better. Now, I don't very often make paper beads with a small core hole because I usually use thicker stringing materials. I mainly use the 1mm round elastic, or sometimes even thicker than that. But lately I have been using memory wire, and the small core holes definitely are better if you are using something skinnier. So just bear that in mind. If you want a tiny core hole, this is a hack to get that. I'm rolling quite slowly here because with the angle that I have cut these, or the angle that I have designed these paper bead strips, is a very slight taper, and obviously that is to show off the image to its best advantage, and so I've got to get the taper right on both sides. So the big question is, how do we get these beads off the shaft of the knitting needle or the pokey tool without pulling the middle out? Well, by some miracle the middles just don't pull out. Well, they don't for me anyway. But of course you must make sure that you use the removable glue tape, which is in the blue container, and not the permanent glue tape, which in the UK at least is in a red container. You've got to use removable for this to work. But on the occasions that I have used double-sided tape, the beads still pull off fine and the middles don't come out. And this is how you get the beads off. You just hold the bead tightly and gently turn the tool round and round, backwards and forwards, and gently ease it out, and you can see it pulls the glue out with it, and there is your bead. And it does make a mess of your knitting needles or your pokey tool, but it's not a problem because it will all come off really easily with solvent, and probably just soap and water, to be honest. But anything, you know, like nail polish remover or lighter fluid, but do it outdoors if you don't like the fumes. I just leave mine on there because it's, you know, it's sticky, and that's what you want. And because I don't use these knitting needles for anything else, it's fine. I actually got this set from Amazon, I think probably this year, I can't remember, it may have been last year, but I'm sure they still have them. If they do, I will leave a link to them over on my blog, and there, as I said before, there will be a link to my blog in the description underneath this video. As I said earlier, it does work with double-sided tape as well. It's just a little bit more clumsy to get on there, but it is very, very sticky. And this is a bead that I rolled using double-sided tape on the tool, and it pulled out just fine, no problem at all. And to get the double-sided tape onto the shaft of the pokey tool, obviously you just cut a tiny sliver. The hardest part is getting the backing off, but I mean, getting backing off double-sided tape is never easy. So I'm putting this on top of the glue tape. So it was really sticky. This one was really, really sticky. And once you get the corner of the backing off, as you pull it off, it just naturally wraps around. The sticky bit just stays on and wraps around. Like I said, the worst part is trying to get the backing off. You see that? It just wraps around as you pull it off. So that's all there is to that. My beads are all rolled now, and it's time to put the sealer on. And once again, I have chosen to use Anita's 3D clear gloss. And it's simply because I have a ton of this hanging around. For some reason I bought loads of this a couple of years ago, and I've still got loads of it, and I have started to use it again recently, and I absolutely love this. I remember now why I bought so much of it. It's the usual thing: put your bead on the end of a kebab stick and just dab the first coat on so that there's no chance that the image will run or smear. Get that coat on there really quickly, let the first coat dry, and then you can take more time with the second and third coat. I actually only put 2 coats on mine because with this Anita's clear gloss you don't need 3 coats. It comes up really super shiny. And then I use florist foam to stick the toothpicks in to let my beads dry, and there they are, drying. And then I did put a second coat on after that and let them dry thoroughly as well before I threaded them onto memory wire. And the beads are lovely and shiny with the Anita's clear gloss. Look at that shine, absolutely fantastic. And for this bracelet I decided to use gold memory wire, or gold coloured. I doubt very much it's real gold. And as usual I chopped off too much. And I'm using my looping pliers to make a loop at the end, and I am getting better at this. In the last bracelet you may have seen me make, I used the larger loop, the larger side of that tool, the top part. So for this one I am making a smaller loop, and that does look much better. I don't know why I've been using the larger loop on all my bracelets. So there's the loop that will stop the beads from falling off once you start to thread them on. And I'm also using these gold coloured spacer beads. I just think because these beads have got such a warm feel to them, I just felt that gold was the way to go with this. I'm usually a more silvery kind of person, but these beads definitely need gold. And there we have it. Stretchy memory wire bracelet that won't lose its shape. So, thank you for watching, and if you want to make this bracelet as well, then go to the description underneath this video where you will find a link to my blog, and you will find a link to this free design and loads of other free designs that I've put on over the last few years. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. This will probably be my last video before the holidays, so I'd like to wish everyone a very happy holidays, and I will see you in January. It's possible I may put up some free designs on my website between now and my next video. I really want to put designs up every week, but I can't always make a video. So if you go over to my blog and subscribe over there, you will know every time I do put a free design up, because they may not necessarily be here on YouTube. Okay? So thanks again everyone. I really appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye.